Hi everyone, it's Christina with One Woman Circus, and I am going to do a tutorial today of the basics of crocheting. We are going to go over the different type of stitches, yarn, how to read a yarn label, and the different items that are common with crocheting. So yeah, if you want to just know the basics before getting started, this is the video for you. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, first we are going to start with the yarn. So here is just the basic yarn. Some things you'll want to look for if you have a project and it says that they are wanting you to use a certain kind of yarn weight. You will find that, like on this one, this is from Hobby Lobby and I love this yarn. And you will find the weight right here. It's a 4, which means medium. This will also be called, I believe, worsted weight and medium weight. Next to it, you'll find the needle size that they recommend for you. This one is a 5.5 millimeter. And then if you're doing knitting, they recommend a US 8 or 5 millimeter. And then for the crochet hook, it's in US, it's the I9. And then you will find the ounces, the grams if you need it, how many yards. This is what it's made out of, so this is 100% acrylic. Okay, and then if you don't see it here, they also have the needle size lists down here. Okay, now this is, I love this yarn, and then in case you want to know, this is mid-green. And we are going to start, so here's the yarn. Now, next thing for crocheting are your hooks. These come in a million different sizes. So I think, let's see, the smallest I have is, so US, it's a C, and then 2.5 millimeters, and you see how small that is. And then the biggest one I have, I think I actually have one bigger, but it's an L. This one's an L11, and it's an 8 millimeter. But I use this mainly for like my chunky and bulky yarn. And then there's every size in between. Usually you can find sets that have 1 millimeter difference, half millimeter difference, and then sometimes I think there's even like 0.25 difference. I want to say I had one in here that was a 0.25. I could be wrong. But next, some things you might use are these. These little guys are called stitch markers. So if you are working in the round or need help in figuring out where the beginning, or some people like to put them at the end too. I personally like to put them at the beginning of my rounds or my chains if needed. You just stick it in the loop and then you fasten it, and then that'll let you know when you come back to it or back around to it that that's where you started. So you need to start your new row. Okay. Another thing you'll use probably are, I believe they're called darning needles. I might be saying that wrong, but I can't say it. But they're needles that are a lot larger than a sewing needle, and they have a blunt tip, and then they have a very large eye, and that's so that way you can fit the yarn through when you're doing your ends, when you're putting your ends in. So this one's super big, and I use one that's the size for like my velvet plushies that I make, but then there's also smaller ones that would probably be better for this kind of yarn that are this size. So you can see that eye is a bit smaller and it's shorter too compared to the other one. So just to compare, you see? And they come in the metal like this, or I've seen them in plastic. I did try plastic one time, but it actually ended up breaking because I was kind of manhandling it. So it wasn't doing too well holding up to that. So that's when I switched to these guys. Okay, so the first one we're gonna learn is a slip stitch. Oh my gosh, I keep wanting to say slip stitch. A slip knot, excuse me. So how I make my slip knot, and there's a bunch of different ways you can make it, but this is how I make mine. I just wrap it like this, and then I bring that piece under. Don't let it go though. Like that. Slip your fingers out. And then all you gotta do is tighten it like that. And then it's super easy, see, to tighten. That's why they call it a slip knot, because it slips in and out. So this is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. This is the one they recommend for this. Now, tighten it to your crochet hook. The next thing you're gonna learn is how to do a chain. So, all you're gonna do, I'll try to get close here. You're gonna go over your hook, grab that yarn, pull it through that first chain. Do it again. Over the loop, over the hook, grab it, pull it through. Okay, so let's do that a couple times and we'll make a chain 5. So this down here is called our chain, okay? And this chain, most of the time, it depends on the person, but most of the time the one on your hook does not count as a chain. So it'll be the ones that are off your hook. So in this case, it would be 2 chains. 1, 2. So let's do a chain 5. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that's a chain of 5. Now, the next thing that's common in crochet is, it's called a single crochet. All that is you're going to insert your hook, and when we're in a chain like this, it's usually going to be the second chain because it's hard to turn around and put it in that very first one. So check it, second chain from the hook. So 1, 2. Okay, so you'll want to put it here. So a single crochet. We're going to put it in that top loop right here. So put it through. You're going to grab, put the yarn around your hook and bring it through that first loop. Then you're going to have 2 loops on your hook. Okay. And then you're going to want to yarn over your hook and bring that through both of the loops. And that is a single crochet. Okay, now another common one is going to be a double crochet. Or let's start with the half double crochet. So a half, this time, instead of just putting your hook through, you're gonna put the yarn over your hook first, and then we're gonna go into this stitch right here after the one that we just did. You're gonna put it in there, put the yarn over your hook, and bring it through. Now, you have 3 strands on your hook. 1, 2, 3. So, to complete this, we're gonna put the yarn over our hook and bring it through all 3 loops. Okay, see? And that is a half double crochet. So if you want to do a full double crochet, you're going to do yarn over the hook, go into your chain, pull it through. So just like the last one, but the difference is when you get here with your 3, you're going to yarn over your hook, but only pull it through 2. 1, 2, and that leaves you with 2 on your hook. Then you're going to yarn it over your hook again and bring it through 2. And that is a double crochet. See how much taller? So here's the half. And then there's the double. See how much taller it is? That's how you can tell the difference. And another common thing is a magic ring, but that is in another video of mine if you want to check that out. And yeah, this is the basics. I mean, until you start actually doing a pattern, it'll be kind of hard to learn until you actually start doing it. The single crochet will be marked in a pattern as SC. Let me see here. So, let me write it for you, just in case, you never know. So a single crochet will be SC. And the half double crochet, which was that shorter one, remember, will be HDC. That's how you'll see it in a pattern. So half double. And then a double, which would be the taller one, will be marked as DC. Double. Okay. Now, I know, you guys should learn how to do, you need to learn how to do a slip stitch. That's a very common one. So let me get that. And I'm gonna chain, let's see, we'll chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's say we're gonna do a single crochet, single crochet, and let's say they want you to slip stitch into the next one, okay? So a slip stitch is bringing your hook through the stitch, put the yarn over, bring it through, and then instead of bringing the yarn through the loops, the 2 loops here, you're just gonna bring that first loop in through that second one. So it kind of flattens it almost. Okay, so you can barely even see it when it's in there. So that's a slip stitch, and those will be in patterns SLS usually. And a lot of the patterns will actually say what these mean if you forget for any reason. So there's the slip stitch, and then I think those are the most common ones. If you have any questions about other ones, I can do another video of a little bit more in-depth stitches to show you in case you need that. But like I said, I have the magic ring video, and that's seen in patterns as MR. And then sometimes you see it as AR, and that means amigurumi ring, which is the same thing as amigurumi. And that's the same thing as a magic ring. And I believe that's it this is just the basics, okay? There's a whole bunch of different ways to do patterns and things like that to where it'll make it look like different patterns. Well, that's why they call it a pattern. But yeah, if you have questions about a pattern or reading a pattern, just let me know. I'm not super in depth with them, but I mean, right now I'm mainly doing the amigurumi, and these are the most basic ones. All right, well, I hope that was helpful for you guys. If you have questions, like I said, I'm not a pro or anything. I just mainly do amigurumi. I can do the basic things with crocheting, but yeah, if you have questions or anything like that, feel free to ask me, or if you need help reading a pattern, just let me know. and I hope everybody has a great Monday. Thanks. Bye.